Now, another thing I want to reach to you is that during the unbelievable part, I was involved in building another base inside of Dulce, New Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. It's a biological laboratory. On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we built an underground facility, a better part of 3 cubic miles hollowed out underground. Then to the southwest of that, we were in the process of the early stages of building. We drilled 4 large tunnel-like holes. Some of them ran 2.5 miles under the surface. Number of the original wells or drilling machines that were used were at the rate of 2 miles a day. It was fairly rapid. The equipment kept coming up broken. So we wanted to go down, we wanted to send somebody down there, a human observer, or human observers in this case, to find out what was going on. Well, to our total surprise, first of all, the government knew all about it. They didn't tell anybody. When I saw Green Beret and Black Beret people encamped inside of our geologist camp, I knew something was up, the gig was up. First of all, I knew all about the alien agenda. I'll explain that in a few minutes. The large alien grays had been encamped there for, as best as believed possible, about 400 or 500 years. It had been one of their internal bases. And we'd drilled holes right on top of it. All the stinking air, all the black sooty air came right out as soon as the first hole was sunk, and all this soot came up, and well, that's when all the hell broke loose, really, all started. Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. And when you build an underground base, you drill 4 basic holes, and then you build called stopes or cross-member holes across, and then you use blasting equipment, special blasting equipment by the analyzation of the rock formation, and you literally blast out or tunnel out or deflagrate or melt rock out to build the large rooms that are required for this underground base. Well, in this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time. I reached for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the folderol of one of these big submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and all the outer perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walther PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This was in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish, and burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. Completely crispy crittered my left foot, burnt the shoe right off of me. All I remember was the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. But he risked his life. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. And I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him. I'm forever indebted. He lost his life. 66 Secret Service agents, Green Berets, Black Berets, crack troops lost their lives because the government, our United States government, lied did not tell us anything about the alien threat. There's a war underneath there, and I'm talking dead serious. It's been going on since that time. Since late August of 1979, our military, the Russian military, basically the militaries of the world, have been in constant conflict with the outer space alien. The small gray, the large gray, the reptilians, the whole thing. There are 11 distinct races of aliens. 2 are benevolent. 1 had to leave here in a hurry because their world is under attack, both on the surface as well as underground there, the Pleiadians. They're familiar, maybe some of you are familiar with that. Would some of you raise your hands who've heard of Billy Meyer and some of the, very good, about half the group. Well, Billy Meyer is one of these lucky people that they figured, well, he's kind of a simple type, we'll show him everything. Well, these are the benevolent aliens, and they've been here helping us. In fact, I have a picture, let me reach for it here. I have a picture of one of the aliens been working for the United States Pentagon for the last 58 years. His name is Val Valiant Thor. He's right here. There's my father in the background.
Days later, Brandon and Mr. X travelled to England to meet with David Icke. Icke is a former professional footballer whose promising career was cut short by rheumatoid arthritis. He then became a well-known sports broadcaster for the BBC, but later turned to writing numerous books on the occult, and has become the world's most controversial and most popular conspiracy theorist, selling millions of books and speaking to thousands at packed venues all over the world.
DNA decides the characteristics of the body. Now, scientists think they know a lot about DNA. They know shit about DNA compared with the reptilians. They have the ability and the knowledge to move to the human codes of the DNA and appear to us to be human, and move then to the reptilian codes of the DNA and shift literally in front of your eyes into a reptilian form.
But have people witnessed this?
Well, I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of people who have witnessed this. I've come across endless stories. One of them, for instance, came from a victim of US government mind control. There are these massive mind control projects. And she tells the story in her book, and she told me personally, of how she was with George Bush, the father, in the White House when he was vice president, and he told her they were a extraterrestrial race that had taken over the planet, but no one realized it because they looked human. They came from a far-off space place.
He told her this.
He told her this.
Did they not, want to kill her? I mean, that's
well,
who's
going to believe it, Brandon? That's
right.
The defense mechanism. It's
right.
so fantastic. And he said that they had the ability, these hybrids, to move between human and reptilian form. That's exactly what we're talking about with shapeshifting. And interestingly, the first things to go, and that which goes quickest, is the eyes. They move to a reptilian form first. And it often happens when these guys are in a real emotional state or really, really angry. It starts to move that DNA shift.
David, I wanted to ask you about some disturbing footage that I got in Los Angeles. Some really bizarre, it's really bizarre. It's these women that claim that they've had sexual relations and relationships with these reptilians. I mean, have you heard of this before?
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. I've heard it from so many different people around the world that this abuse and stuff goes on. Oh, fuck, what's going on here? All right, okay. We have to have permission. We have to have permission to film in a place that we taxpayers pay for. Are you winding me up?
I'm afraid not, sir.
Well, over here, you see, you've got this bloody protest here against the Iraq war. It's been going on for bloody 3 years. And the other night, they pulled it all down. In the middle of the night, the police, you can't even protest against people who are killing thousands of children and civilians in Iraq. You can't do it. It's against the law. See, peace is against the law. The law is against peace. But in there, where they want to go on their wars of conquest and kill thousands of bloody children, the law is on their side to do that. It's a free country. Please. Intelligent life calling planet Earth. We are not being served by the people we elect. We serve the people we elect. Okay, I've got an idea. In this neo-Nazi state where you can't film your own public buildings, why don't we just walk and can just come behind us and we'll just chat away? Stick it in your jacket. That's probably the best thing.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
And amazing, isn't it? This is free Britain, ladies and gentlemen.
So, according to Mr. Icke's instruction, you then hid your camera inside your jacket?
Yes, I had to. Otherwise, they would have shut us down.
David, let me ask you about it. Have you ever heard of a group called The Arena?
No, what's that?
It's in Los Angeles. It's a group. I got to be honest with you. I'm concerned about it because they've been following me, and I'm wondering if I'm safe from these guys. It's called The Arena.
I've never heard of The Arena, but all over the world there are hundreds of thousands of groups and cults that work in secrecy that you would call secret societies, secret groupings. And in the end, they fit together to form the web of global control and manipulation. But I've never come across specifically The Arena, no.
Now, let me ask you, if you, since I've now found out about them, and they know that I've found out about them, I've been followed by them, am I safe? Am I in trouble here?
Well, first of all, the fact they're following you means you're going down a road they don't want you to go. So that's good. It means you're on a trail that's worth pursuing.
But I'm worried. I'm worried. I got kids.
You have a choice, Brandon, right? You can walk away and let them intimidate you and go into your nice life and forget about Jude and forget about all this shite, right? Or you can say, hold on a minute, at this point in my life, I'm going to do something about the injustice and the manipulation and the horrors that go on in this world, and so I'm going to uncover this and I'm going to keep going.
So you said that David Icke gave Brandon a sort of walking tour of London to show him this so-called reptilian symbolism.
Yes, again, David Icke told us that this is where the reptilians operated their central base from, and that this is where the reptilian symbolism was, most noticeable.
What I want to do is show you something here. Like I say, this is one of the great global epicenters of reptilian manipulation through this, if you like, secret society network. It calls itself the Illuminati. Right. Now, what are the chances, just by coincidence, of the logo, the very image of this city, being that? There it is. It's two flying reptiles holding a shield. Now, that shield is the symbol of the Knights Templar. And if you look over there, you've got a colour version of it. All over this place, mate, you'll see these images.
Icke believes that because the reptilians rule in secrecy, that they've placed symbolism all over the world to signify their dominance over humanity. But after touring London all day, looking at all this symbolism, all this evidence, Brandon was unconvinced. And he told Icke,
I'm not buying that shape-shifting reptilians exist because I see a lizard on a lamppost, or I see lions on the front of a building. I mean, does that mean? And Princess Diana refers to somebody as being inhuman, so now automatically they're killing people, and I'm not buying it. I can't.
You ain't buying, Brandon, and that's good because I ain't selling. All I'm telling you is a few of the strands, a few of the puzzle pieces.
How is something on a statue a strand?
That's all I'm saying. It's a puzzle piece among vast numbers of other puzzle pieces in the millions of words I've written on this. And when you see the puzzle pieces put together, and you don't do that in a day going around London, then you'll start to realize the credibility of it. But I'm not trying to sell you anything.
No, I know you're not trying to sell it, but you're showing me evidence, and I got to be honest with you, I don't think the evidence is that compelling. I don't think it's credible. I'm not buying it.
It's a few strands in a massive tapestry.